How we doing, kiddos?
Good.
Everyone's. Now let me ask you this: have you had a great Read Across America week?
Yeah.
I know that you've had a lot of different and fun activities throughout the week, like Crazy Hat Day and Crazy Sock Day, because every morning I'm running around looking for crazy socks and crazy hats and the rest. So everyone had a great week?
Yeah.
Great. Let me ask you a question, a couple of questions. First of all, how many people read each night at home?
I better see every hand go up. Uh-oh.
How
That's your homework.
How many people read to someone at home?
I don't always.
No?
But
How many people maybe have an older brother or sister, mom or dad, or someone read to you every night? Swanson, raise your hand.
See her? She's going,
Yeah.
not every night.
Every night we hear your brother's fluency reading from Mr. Santos's class. So yeah, so we get read to every night. Oh, great. So let me ask you this: why is reading so important? What does reading do? Why is reading so important, Daniel?
because it helps your brain.
It helps your brain. How does it help your brain, buddy?
So,
How does reading help your brain?
it teaches you.
It teaches you, just like when you go out on the playground. Okay, when you go out on the playground, or you go home after school and you're outside and you're exercising. Why do we exercise? What does it help us do? Greta.
To keep our body healthy.
To keep our body healthy and strong, and to keep our muscles strong. And guess what? Your brain is a muscle too. And when you read, it helps it become healthy and strong. It also helps us learn all kinds of different words. What's another word that we use for words?
Vocabulary.
Oh my goodness, right here, Avery. Great job. Your vocabulary. What happened to your teeth?
I lost
Ah, okay. I hope you find them. So, yes, it increases your vocabulary. Very good. A few questions about this book, or any book in general. Let me ask you these questions. This book is by Dr. Seuss, whose birthday we are celebrating this week, which I believe was March 2nd was his actual birthday. I think he would have been 112 years old.
It's my mom's birthday.
It is.
My
She and Dr. Seuss have the same birthday. How special. Let me ask you this. Dr. Seuss wrote this book, so he is the what of this book?
Author.
Oh, you raise your hand, raise your hand. Marissa. Author writes the book. How about the person who draws or paints the pictures? What are they called? Oh, you got a girlfriend. The illustrator. The illustrator. Very good. If I were to say to you that on the front of this book it reads, "Oh say, can you say, oh my brothers, oh my sisters, there are terrible tongue twisters." What is that of the book? What do these words mean to this book? What is it?
Oh, say, can you say?
But what is that?
Well, what is that? What do those words
mean?
mean?
What do we call
What-
the name of a book? What do we call the
I
name?
knew it.
Oh, you
Oh,
said it
look
behind
at
a
you!
book.
Look at you with your
What do we call the
powering
name
riders.
of a book?
Tongue tricks. Tongue tricks.
That is a tongue twister.
That is a tongue
book.
twister.
What do we call the name of a book? Who can help Kyle? We know. Help Kyle. Thanks.
And what's the title tell us? What's the title usually tell us, Avery?
What the book is going to be about.
So, these kids are wicked smart. Yeah, wicked
There's the
smart.
Fall River coming out.
It
Oh,
is.
wicked smart.
Yeah, wicked smart kids. But yes, this is the title of the book, and it tells us what it's about. All right. You ready for some tongue twisters?
Yeah.
What's a tongue twister?
Oh, we
Let me
do
tell you
every
something.
week, don't we?
Greta chose this book. So,
Punishment for something.
she
Mr. Swenson.
wants me to get my tongue all twisted. So what does a tongue twister do? Do you know?
What's special about a tongue twister? We learn one every week in class, right, as part of
Yeah.
our calendar. what makes a tongue twister a tongue twister? What's cool about him? Jacob, do you know?
It starts with the all-same letter.
All the same letter.
Usually, right?
We have
What
lots-
else? What?
And they have some rhyme.
And they can have a lot of rhymes, right? And then your tongue
job.
gets all mixed up with all the
Awesome.
rhymes and all the same letters.
So hopefully I can get through this without my
read
tongue
before.
being sprained and I don't mess up too much. But if I mess up, don't laugh. All right, here we go. Here we go. Said a book reading parrot named Hooey. The words in this book are all phooey. When you say them, your lips will make slips and do backflips, and your tongue may end up in St. Louis. That was easy.
Page 1.
Oh, here we
I
go.
give him to page 10.
Fresh fish. Fresher fish. Freshest. Do you like fresh fish?
Yeah.
It's just fine at Finney's Diner. Finney also has fresher fish. That's fresher and much finer. But his best fish is his freshest fish. And Finney says with pride, the finest fish at Finney's is my freshest fish, French fried. So, don't order the fresh or the freshest fish at Finney's if you're wise. You'll say, fetch me the finest French fried freshest fish that Finney fries. Oh, how about that?
Wow.
Din's Shin. What's that a picture of? These are beautiful pictures too, but it's a what? Skeleton of a dinosaur, and I assume that his name is Din. So let's find out about Din. We have a dinosaur named Din. Din's thin. Din doesn't have much skin, and all the bones fall out of his left shin. Then we have to call Binner Blin, who comes with his handy shin pin bin. And with his thin Blin shin bone pin, Blin pins Din's shin bone pin right back in. What do you think about them apples? Not bad, huh? Ooh, this is an important one to remember, because if you are a bed spreader, make sure you don't mix up your job with the bread spreader, and we'll talk about why in a little bit. Bed spreaders spread spreads on beds. Bread spreaders spread butter on breads. And that bed spreader better watch out how he's spreading, or the bread spreader sure going to put butter on his bedding. And you don't want butter on your bedding, right? Why don't you want to put butter on your bedding? Avery.
It'll get all messy.
And you'll slip out, right?
Yeah. Then you'll next thing you know,
Oh, next thing you know what, Daniel?
butter will be on your bed. And
Right, you
it'll
don't
be
want-
comfortable.
Yeah, you don't want to be all buttery at night. Ate cakes. Grape cakes. As he gobbled the cakes on his plate, the greedy ape said as he ate, the greener green grapes are, the keener keen apes are to gobble green grape cakes. They're great.
Wow.
Okay, now he's asking me, this is Dr. Seuss, give me a little bit. Are you having trouble in staying this stuff? Yes. It's really quite easy for me. I just look in my mirror and I see what I say, and then I say what I see. Does anyone ever go in front of the mirror and maybe read or practice something you've got to say in class, or a speech that you need to say? I do that all the time. Okay. Now, let's talk money. Who likes money?
Makes
Ooh, so does Greta's mom. All right, here we go. You should leave your grocs home when you travel by air. If you take them along, they will charge you double the fare. And your grocs must be packed in a locked-up grocs box, which costs much, much more than a little old fox box. So, it's a lot cheaper to fly with your foxes than waste all your money on boxes for groxes.
Hey, but
How many people have a grox at home?
I don't. I do.
And what do you think costs more? A simple thimble or a single shingle? A simple thimble could cost less than a single shingle would, I guess. So I think that the single shingle should cost more than the simple thimble would. I should have probably read these before I came into this classroom.
I think he's doing great.
All right. Oh, eat at Skipper Zips. How many people have ever eaten at Skipper Zips? Oh, you eaten? How is it? Pretty good?
I went on a skipper trip.
Oh, you did. Oh my goodness, so this is right up my alley. If you like to eat potato chips and chew on pork chops on Clipper chips, I suggest you chew a few chips in a chop at Skipper Zips Clipper Chip Chop Shop. So if you like pork chops and chips, this is the place for you.
You have to try to run to the. I don't like. You have to try to run to the brick wall.
Okay. Make sure to do that. All right. So let's go to the next. Oh, quack quack. Quack quack. What quacks? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. What quacks? Back there, buddy. What quacks? A duck. All right. Let's see. We have two ducks. One blue, one black. And when the blue duck goes quack quack, our black duck quickly quack quacks back. The blue quacks makes her quite a quacker. But black is a quicker quacker backer. And speaking of quacks, reminds me of cracks, and stacks and sacks, and shacks or schnacks. So, oh, can you say, I have cracks in my shack, I have smokes in my stack, and I think there's a snack in my sack on my back. Hate when that happens. Quack. All right. Ooh. West Beast, East Beast. If I were to ask you, what part of the country do you live in? Do you live in the East or do you live in the West? Raise your hand. Do we live in the East or do we live in the western part of our country? Marissa?
The West.
Or we might live in the
East.
East, Marissa. Very good. We live in the East. We live in the northeast of North America. New England, Massachusetts, the wonderful town of Rainham, right? That's where we live. Okay, here we go. Up on an island, hard to reach, the East Beast sits upon his beach. Upon the West Beach sits the West Beast. Each beach beast thinks he's best. Which is the best beast? Well, I thought at first that it was the East was the best, and the West was the worst. Then I looked again from the West to the East, and I liked the beast on the East Beach least. I'm walking up a ladder up here. This is harder work than I do in my own office. Here we go. Oh, this is a good one. Pete pats pigs. Pete pats pigs. Pete Briggs pats pigs. Briggs pats pink pigs. Briggs pats big pigs. Don't ask why. It doesn't matter. Pete Briggs is a pink pig, big pig patter. Pete Briggs pats his big pink pigs all day. Don't ask me why, I cannot say. Then Pete puts his patted pigs away in his Pete Briggs pink pigs, big pen. Like that one?
Yeah.
All right. Oh. Fritz Foods. Fritz Foods. Fritz needs Fred, and Fred needs Fritz. Fitz feeds Fred, and Fred feeds Fritz. Fred feeds Fritz with Ritzy Fretz food. Fitz feeds Fred with Ritzy Fritz food. And Fritz, when fed, has often said, I'm Fred fed Fitz. Fred's a Fritz fed Fred.
He keeps saying Fritz and Fred.
Yes, he does. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. What would you rather be when you grow up? A cop in a cop's cap? Or a cupcake cook in a cupcake cook cap? Or a fat flapjack flapper in a flat flapjack capper cap? Or, if you think you don't like cop caps, flapjack flapper, or cupcake cook's caps, maybe you're on one of those choosy caps who likes a kooky captain's cap, perhaps. Rope, soap, hoop, soap. Here we go. If you hope to wash soup off a rope, why would you have soup on a rope?
I don't know.
Simply scrub it with a scrope. Scrope is so strong that no rope is too long. But if you should wish to wash soup off a hoop, I suggest that it's best that you let the whole silly soup up hoop soak in Soapy Cooper's soup. Super soap off hoops, soap or suckers. Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody. It's that time of the year. Yeah. Christmas. One year, we had Christmas brunch. What's brunch? Who knows what brunch is? Greta, what's brunch? Brunch is lunch and breakfast combined, right? It's one of my favorites. One year, we had Christmas brunch with Merry Christmas mush to munch. But I don't think you care for such. We didn't like to mush much. That doesn't look too appetizing on Christmas, right? That is Santa. I don't think he looks too happy about the mush. Oh, here's one that you should think of, okay? And speaking of Christmas, here are some great gifts to give your daddy. If your daddy's name is Jim, and if Jim swims, and if Jim is slim, the perfect Christmas gift for him is a set of Slim Jim swim fins.
Oh my
Jim.
gosh.
There's Jim right there. But if your daddy's name is Dwight, and he likes to look at birds at night, the gift for Dwight that might be right is a bright Dwight bird flight night sight flight. Does anyone have a dad named Dwight that can get him that, or a dad named Jim? But never give your dad a walrus.
Oh. Give my dad.
Do you know what a walrus is? What's a walrus, Jordan?
I don't know.
You don't know? What's a walrus? Avery.
It's
Oh, look at
that's
that.
a walrus.
That is a walrus. What are those big things coming out of the walrus's
They're
mouth?
teeth.
No, they're not teeth. It begins with a T, though. Marissa.
Tusks.
Tusks. Very good.
Wait, speaking of walrus,
Yeah, speaking of walruses.
why do you not? Why would you not get your dad?
Well, let's find out. Let me read and we'll find out why not to give your dad a walrus. A walrus with whiskers is not a good pet. And a walrus which whispers is even worse yet. When a walrus lisps whiskers through tough, rough, wet whiskers, your poor dad's ears will get blistered and blistered. That's why it's not good.
The book is over.
Right.
The book is over.
And that's almost enough of such stuff to say for one day. One more, and you'll be finished. Oh, say, can you say? The storm starts when the drops start dropping. The drops stop dropping when the storm starts stopping. That's something to think about in closing. The end.
Boys and girls, let's get the king of school.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have any questions for me? You can ask anything you'd like about books, about school, anything you'd like to know. Yes.
After this is
Well, What's that?
Why do you have to be the boss for 7 schools?
Why do I have to? I ask myself that question every day. Why do I have to be the boss for 7 schools? Well, I like to think of myself, I'm not so much the boss as the leader of the schools, meaning that I work with our principals and I work with our teachers and paraprofessionals and proctors and all the folks that work in our schools, like our custodians and our secretaries and the folks that work in the cafeteria. I work with all of those different folks so that you folks sitting in front of me and all of the wonderful students here at the Merrill and at the Wild Liberty and Rainham Middle School and the Mitchell over in Bridgewater and the Williams Intermediate School and Bridgewater Middle School and the Bridgewater Rainham Regional High School have a great place to go to school each and every day. And I would say this, that you kiddos are very lucky to live in the towns and the communities of Bridgewater and Rainham and be able to go to these schools and have the opportunity to work with such great principals and teachers and paraprofessionals and proctors and cafeteria workers and custodians and secretaries and everyone that goes into making our schools so special. This is a very special place, and the town of Rainham is a very special place for you to attend school. In fact, I live here obviously because Greta is in your classroom, so you're very lucky. So I am more of the leader of the schools than I would say the boss of the schools, and I just try to help everybody get what they need in their classrooms. I help you get your books, I help you get your pencils and your paper and all the things that you need to read and the wonderful books and things like that. So that's what I do.
Boys and girls, can we give Mr. Swenson a big clap? Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to give you a thank you. And I'm going to tell you what I used to do with the kids in my classroom. Because you were such a great audience. I want you to give yourselves a thumbs up. Double thumbs up. Golf clap is a golf clap. Give yourself a round of applause. And a pat on the back. Because you're aces. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and I had such a great time. And I'd love to come back at any time to read to you kiddos. So,
You're welcome.
all
Anytime.
right.
Being here.
Thank you for having me, okay?